Let's discuss the outlook here with Danielle Lacalle, the chief economist at Tariffs. Danielle, good to see you once again. You know, markets are expecting a 25 basis point cut, but as my colleague was highlighting there, it is also likely that the central bank is going to have some sort of discussion today about a 50 basis point cut. Even though that might not end up being the case today, it might be something that they choose to do further down the path. What do you think is likely to happen here? Are we looking at an economic picture that warrants a 50 basis point cut at the start of 2025?
Hi, Sylvia. Absolutely, we are. And I think that with the likely downgrade of estimates from the ECB in this meeting, it is quite significant that we are going to see a very different path compared with the United States. The euro area is certainly reducing its inflation rate, its annual inflation rate. However, it's coming from stagnation of the economy. And if the downgrades are significant, which could be, particularly considering the challenges in France and Germany, then it is pretty obvious that the European Central Bank needs to think more about credit growth, and there could be a stronger action in the next meeting. I think that this one is pretty obvious that they're going to be quite data dependent, but I think that in the next it's going to be everything about the economic outlook.
So let's discuss that in more detail. In your notes, you said that you don't expect the euro area to enter recession in 2025. But that's not really good news, is it? Avoiding a recession still suggests that we could see very low levels of economic growth. How are you looking at the outlook here, and how concerned are you ultimately about the lack of growth across the continent?
I'm extremely concerned about the lack of growth, because we must remember that it is also happening in the middle of one of the largest stimulus packages ever implemented in the euro area, the Next Generation EU Fund. So with the stimulus package, with a central bank that is being very accommodative, and with fiscal policy being hugely benign still, with all of the limits lifted by the European Commission, all of those factors are not helping at all the European Union and the Eurozone. Our expectations are actually quite optimistic in terms of not expecting any type of recession, but certainly stagnation is the risk. And with the fiscal challenges of France, which are going to be one of the headaches for the European Commission and the ECB in 2025, that is likely to be quite concerning. However, on the positive side, what I think is that the worst of the manufacturing sector and the worst of the consumer are pretty behind us. So I would be at least not certainly optimistic, because it's very worrying to see a European Union that doesn't have technological leadership, that doesn't have industrial leadership, and that continues to have extremely high energy prices. I think that obviously what we can at least expect is that avoiding the recession and getting a little bit of traction on the manufacturing sector may support an ECB that can cut rates without fueling inflation.
So let's discuss that also, because when you think about the economic outlook, we also have to discuss the potential threat of tariffs from the United States. In your notes, you also highlight that you don't expect tariffs to be inflationary. Walk us through that rationale.
Well, the reason why I don't think that tariffs are inflationary is because we have seen it in the past. 2016 to 2021, we had no inflation, and all the tariffs of the Bush, Obama, the Trump administration were maintained, and there was no inflation until 2022, in fact. So I think that what we know is that inflation comes when the tariffs are implemented on products that are produced 100% abroad, outside of the country, and have a completely inelastic demand. And that is very, very rare. However, what tariffs do is impact trade growth and impact bilateral agreements that can help the economy grow faster. Obviously, that is something that is very, very important. But I think that the Trump administration is going to implement the tariffs with a view of negotiating them, particularly with the partners of the European Union. So if the European Union starts to lift some of the trade barriers that are burdening the automotive, agricultural, and farming sector in the United States, then certainly there is plenty of room to negotiate. So I'm less negative about tariffs in general. I'm more worried that the European Union decides to act if there is an announcement of tariffs with more tariffs, and that there starts a trade war.
Well, let's see what will happen when we have Donald Trump at the White House. We appreciate your time this morning. Daniel Lacalle, Chief Economist at Tariffs.
Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel, like my videos, leave your comments below, and keep defending freedom. Thank you very much.